Thank you so much for joining us. A very good morning. My name is Idrissa Mwonge. It's time for the day break. Actually, it's the last segment of the day break. Because in the first segment, Chi was here taking you through what is transparent entertainment industry. And I'm here now. I'll take you through the second segment. Today is the second day of September 2024. Still here. Happy New Month. Forget about the problems encountered in the previous month. That's gone. It will never change.
You're optimistic that September is bringing nothing but the best. That's how life goes on. I mean, we're always hopeful that tomorrow is going to be a better day. The next month is going to be better than the previous one. So forget about the hassles, the frowns that you had to experience in the previous month. Now you're in September, and I believe that it's going to bring nothing but only good things to your life. A lot is happening in our country. The regional parliamentary sittings is what is on every Ghanaian's lips, the first of its kind. Somebody was telling me not only in Uganda, but also in the entire world. So we had the first happening in Gulu, and that is now done, and so we are going to Mbale, that is for the eastern region. This was received with mixed reactions, of course. The mixed reactions I'm talking about is that there are those who are excited about these plenary sittings in various regions of the country, but are those who chose to boycott them. And those who chose to boycott them have been, described as being politically myopic by some analysts, not by everybody, because they're wondering that if you choose to boycott a plenary that was sitting in Gulu, it means you're going to boycott, another that is going to sit in Eastern, in Central, that is in Masaka particularly, and then also the last one is going to sit in Mbarara. And you call yourselves the National Unity Platform. So, does this depict national character? Keeping in mind that your support is so much embedded here in the Central. You'd have utilized this opportunity, to coerce for support in those, other regions. But you have chosen not to go there. How are they going to perceive you? That is the first question you're asking. The people from those regions, how are they going to perceive you? These are not my words, but the words of the, some political analysts who are saying that this could have a huge consequence on the National Unity Platform. Idrissa Mwonge is my name. I'm not alone in the studios. I've been joined by the spokesperson of one of the parties that are represented in Parliament, and that is JEMA, Dr. Swaibu Kagwansiriko. Doesn't need much introduction because he's been with us here, for a number of times. So doesn't need much introduction. Good to have you, Sheikh. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing today?
Good, alhamdulillah. Thank you. Thank you for hosting me once again to share a word with the citizens of this great country, Uganda. I want particularly to greet the community in Busiro North. And specifically, those
Someone may be wondering that, look at Uganda, it's a big country. Why choose zero down on Busiro South?
No, I've greeted the entire citizens of the country, but now those citizens in Chengiza Parish in Masolita sub-county, Busiro North constituency. With them, we are organizing to reactivate Bulungi Wansi community activities, and we are together recently. We are planning for this. On the 9th, I want to call upon them to adhere to the calling of the LOC1 chairperson, Madame Latifa, who is going around mobilizing them. On that day, we shall be enlarging our inner roads using our own labor. We shall also conduct hygiene activities, smoking the toilets, sweeping the compounds, and planting trees for environmental protection. So please be there with us on 9th this month. Again, from the Justice Forum JEMA, last week we had an engagement with the officials of the International Republican Institute, IRI. They had come along to share with us to consult over how we can make together we can make a peaceful electoral season that is forthcoming. Now, in that engagement, this is what came out most prominently. This came out most prominently in that discussion where we discussed, because we are trying to discuss what are the likely triggers, the drivers of violence, and what can we do to avert violence so that we can have a peaceful electoral season. Now, this emerged as one of the most likely trigger of violence. 290,000 government jobs still vacant. The question emerged, for whom are they preserved? In the country.
Let me look at that.
In the country.
Who's revealing that?
Yes. This is, by the way, the source is very credible. It is the Ministry of Public Service. That is the source, saying almost 300,000 government jobs still vacant.
You know what I'm taking is where they say more than 6,000 aged workers refuse to retire. Why would Ugandans refuse to retire?
Yes, but first this, for whom are these jobs preserved? Still vacant. Mark that word, still vacant. For whom are they preserved then? That's the key question. In a country where unemployment is one of the outstanding challenges, national challenges for that matter. 300, and I mean, after we have just heard what has happened in Bangladesh. Have you heard what happened there?
Yeah, I know.
The 30% of such jobs were preserved.
For the children of the heroes.
Yes. Is this the same happening here? Because already we have experienced that there are some big officials. Specifically, we can point to the one of Uganda Airlines. For 20 years, she had been accessing prime, high-profile jobs without necessarily presenting her academic documents. For over 20 years, she just picked her transcript and certificate from Makere when Kosase asked for it recently. So is this the same happening? What happened in Bangladesh? Is it the same happening in Uganda? These jobs are being preserved for some privileged people, like the one
Maybe
Uganda Airlines.
maybe that also includes the prominent job of governor. Because remember, we don't have a governor since the demise of Mr. Mutebire. That position has not yet been replaced.
Yes.
Maybe that's one of them.
And one of Makere there has just been allocated to a veteran who has been serving here and there. And you know that he has a connection to the group that calls itself to have liberty.
But I hope you don't question his competence. Are you questioning the competence of Dr. Kiyo?
When has that? You're just going to hear those who are not retiring, refusing to retire. What difference does it make with this? All refusing to retire.
Is not that too old?
Yes. But again, we're asking government. By the way, we have to commend the Ministry of Public Service for revealing this. I don't know whether it was by design or by whether it was accident, but it tells us, it gives us a lot of insight into this and explains the unemployment. Perhaps because if they are preserved specially or ring-fenced for some special people in the country, that means those special people are not enough even to occupy these jobs. But we have here youth graduating from university, they are moving around, they are resorting to go into those menial jobs in the Middle East, which are not befitting their status, actually, vis-a-vis the education levels they have attained. So this issue emerged very prominently in that discussion when we met with the officials of the International Republican Institute, and I wanted to share it with Ugandans so that perhaps they can look around for a solution.
Okay. Dr. Swaib wanted to pick Gemma's perception of these regional parliamentary sittings. I just mentioned earlier that the biggest opposition political party, which also appoints or has the lead of opposition, resolved not to attend these sittings. How about Gemma? Do you have your MP, your honorary member of parliament in attending these plenaries?
Yes, we do have. You are disadvantaged that we have only that member of parliament. We actually want to take this opportunity and ask Ugandans to consider expanding the number of Gemma representatives in the August House. Actually, I need also to tell them that I'm an aspirant and I'm aspiring for the MP seat, Busiro North, on the Gemma ticket. Please think about expanding this number so that you can relieve us of some of the duties, because the only single MP we have in the House has to attend to everything, He's a member of every committee in the House, see? And that's why he misses some of them. Now, particularly, as I told you, maybe I should have discussed this with you or on some other platform. We, with the regional sittings, we are yet to take a final decision. We are yet to take a final position on this. So we are in the process of gathering information here and there, and that's the key.
Oh, one region is done. We are going to another region.
Yes.
And you have not yet resolved it?
Yes, the key reason, yes, because we need to use first-hand information to base our decision upon, not to rush into, into action. So our representative went particularly, the Honorable Asman Basarua, attended the Bull sitting to gain more information on ground upon which we shall use. And I think now that we are taking stock of what happened in Gulu, we are going to use that information and decide our final decision going forward. But again, taking stock of that, we realize there's a lot of wastage put into this activity so far. And we are asking the rationale, the reason why the leader of opposition spearheaded the boycott of this activity, and yet a number of representatives from that very party attended. A number of them did not attend.
Yes,
Okay.
which make us actually concerned about, you know, what lies ahead of his leadership, because him resolving that the opposition, as for us as opposition, we are not going to attend, and then having a section of members from even his own political party going against that resolution, then that is patching holes in his leadership.
Yes, actually applying the formula that normally students of philosophy use, the 4 R's. The 4 R's of responsiveness. Who was responsible for giving green light to this activity? You would consider that it was the entire House, all MPs were responsible. You can hold them responsible for this. So if anybody was quite intention to stop it, that was the best time doing it. We're at the planning stages, even before passing the budget, because planning includes the budgetary allocation to it. So we condemn all of them, all MPs. I mean, when we are taking stock of this, all MPs, including those of National Unity Platform, for failing their role, failing their representative or representation role. Because if they had performed it, if they had exercised it, they should have stopped it at that stage. Then what does it reflect? The other R that guides our thinking and decisions as philosophers or students of philosophy. What does this reflect? It shows that the MPs did not adequately perform their function, because this activity, having realized that it's a wastage, and indeed you can point out the areas of wastage, they should have stopped it. So it reflects them as not adequately performing their representation role. Okay? Why? Hey, reason, as the other R that guides us. Perhaps they don't pay attention to this. Perhaps they don't attend those meetings that decide these actions. Okay? And we ask, if they did not attend, where are they? What are they doing? Are they performing the role of representing the people? Maybe not. So, and then the consequences or the evaluation, how we evaluate this entire exercise. Where are the wastages? Now look, over 500 MPs could have been booked in the hotels, because the House consists of that number. And then only about 300 attended, or less than 300. The 200 who did not, apparently the hotel rooms were paid for, and all the amenities, the accompanying amenities to that, paid for, okay? And that money is being donated to the opulent, or the rich, who are the owners of those hotels. This does not touch the people, as the reason now being given that we are taking the house, the parliament, near to the people. If
the ordinary 1 inch are not benefiting.
Yes, they are not, because those who are benefiting are already opulent.
And that is the very justification the leader of opposition gave for not attending.
Yes.
With his group.
But then we are saying it's too late. They should have averted it, stopped it from the planning stages, if they were adequate.
Did they have the capacity?
Yes.
They are the minority, don't
they
forget
should
that.
have raised it. They raised the concern.
What difference does it make if you talk
level,
about something and you have no
to the level,
capacity to stop it?
Yeah, we are now, no, if you provide information, by that we have equipped people with a very lethal weapon with which even to fight or to not to protest against the MPs who are going against people's interests. So that they should have contributed in that sense. So, but look at this way. Even MPs who did not attend, their allowances and the rest of payments are being deposited on their accounts, bank accounts. So that contradicts the position of
the money was deposited in their bank accounts.
Yes, those who attended and those who did not attend.
I had, yes, Dr. Abed Bwanika talk about that.
Yes.
Though the amount he mentioned was not that big.
No, for as long as, because if it becomes big when you multiply by everybody who benefits from it. And I mean, we are saying now, asking, are they really genuine by, failing to attend? I mean, and at the same time, they are benefiting from this. Is this the reason anyway? They allow the process to go on if they had attended the preparatory meetings. So, and it is from that's where I want to challenge.
Okay.
I put a challenge that if they are genuinely asking the allocation, the appropriate, how the funds, public funds are appropriated in terms of priorities, and they are suggesting that such funds should have gone to the critical sectors of health, education. But here we are now, if they are genuine, they should by now be saying, no, these funds that are deposited into our accounts, let's put it together and support. For example,
you're saying that even those who didn't go there,
yes,
they had money wired in their accounts?
Of course, it's going there.
And they're not planning to return it?
Yes.
Even when they're not attending the plenary sittings?
Yes. So that contradicts their entire protest.
In fact, we are yet to hear from these people who boycotted about that very issue to see if they're going to, return that money. After all, they're not attending the sittings.
They are not.
Why
so the challenge we are putting is that since our suggestions are that such funds should have gone to the critical areas, specifically in the health sector and education sector, and as the president recently said that there are no funds to support the interns, the medical interns. Such funds now, these MPs who did not go and money is being wired into their accounts should put that money together and donate it to the interns, Medical Interns Association.
What are you asking for?
Yes, so that they know they
is
show
that a request
example.
that is attainable, really? Everybody does need the money. But you're saying that since there is talk about patriotism, they're like the government is not doing the right thing. So if they did this, it's something that is out of generosity.
No.
They will have become philanthropists, patriots.
It's
that
not even generosity
you're using.
Such. This is proper usage of public resources. They are suggesting that these funds going into the regional sittings should have been utilized in other critical sectors such as health. So they should, their words should match, or actions should match their words.
One may be wondering that why don't you persuade your president, also your member of parliament, to open that door? Maybe he may encourage others to follow suit. Let him do it
The
first.
president has come out. In fact, historically, it's known. These social sectors, they don't have the priority, maybe in the domination agenda. They are important, but do not sustain the domination agenda of the ruling party. See, what supports the domination agenda are completely different things. You can see the position in which they put health and education. In fact, they put them together and call them human capital development. You see, together, those key sectors, so that they can allocate it, a sum which appears on the surface to be number one on the national budget priorities. Okay, that is hoodwinking the population. But the reality should have been education or health should have been number one on its own. One of them, education or health. So you cannot say that such a leadership, such a system is going to be by mere words that you prioritize health, you prioritize education. No. Unless we take other alternatives as opposition, and this is what we can afford, that with the little we have, we can offer it to support. The interns themselves have come forth to express dire need in terms of their welfare. So that's the spirit in which I want us. I want the members of parliament who boycotted Gulu, but they are receiving the funds now to put it together. Instead of, because experience...
Support the interns.
Yes. Experience...
They would say that is not our responsibility, it's the responsibility of the government. And
yes,
by the way,
it is.
I'm wondering, in the spirit in which the president came out, to speak about these interns, it's as if he's insinuating that we don't need them, yet actually know the impact of these people in the hospitals. Given the ratio of a doctor to patients in the country.
Very huge, maybe even about 30,000 or at least more than 10,000.
Imagine that. And interns coming to bridge that gap.
Yes.
But look here, the president, the way he speaks about them, it's as if he is like, we don't need your services.
So
when he says you sponsor your
they are us who need them. And they are us who are looking forward to them, to their contribution after 40 years of NRM. Because we know definitely NRM will disappear. I started by giving
what do you
an
mean
example.
disappear?
Like the Wami League party in Bangladesh had dominated for 50 years, but when it messed up with especially job allocations, ring fencing for themselves.
That touched your heart.
Yes, ring fencing for themselves, 30% of such jobs. The student movement sprang up, and that government, after dominating for 50 years, is no more. So the same we are looking forward to here in Uganda, and we are saying we need these medical students. We need them. We should show. In fact, this is one of the ways opposition should show the difference, the alternative. I'm calling upon the leader of opposition, Mr. Senyu. He's Mr. Senyu, right? He spearheaded the boycott in Gulu. He should spearhead now the mobilization of funds to support the interns who have come forth to express their dire need. But the government of Uganda says it's not in position to respond positively to their call. We are here. Let us, me personally, I'm ready to contribute $500,000 to that effort. My party, the Justice Forum JEMA, can contribute on its behalf, can contribute at least $1 million shillings, but the president of the party can even from his individual approach, on individual basis, can contribute more.
Is this something you have discussed with your president?
I know we are a very generous party.
You're the one who's spearheading this.
Yeah, within the party.
But it would have much impact if you discuss it with your president. And then he has the capacity to table it in Parliament, on the floor of Parliament. And there it would have much more impact.
Yes, definitely it will. But then I'm also calling upon Parliament, those who are responsible, moving forward, before we even venture into the eastern region and the rest of the regions, to make a roll call on the MPs who are willing to attend, okay, so that payments, not to mitigate the effects of wastage.
Okay.
They pay only for those who are.
But even these MPs would be, I mean, should be responsible enough and return the funds. If you didn't attend, why would you take the money? Especially these ones from the opposition. Dr. Swab, let's first take a break, and our viewers, let's first take a break. When we come back, shortly after this break, we are going to continue, discussing the impact of these regional parliamentary sittings, especially their impact on the Wananchi, the people to whom they are taking parliament to. That's the whole essence of moving parliament, because these legislators, they're already sitting here, at the parliamentary building here in Parliament Avenue. But them moving to these regions, they're like, we are bringing parliament closer to the people. Now we are interrogating what impact is this going to have on the last man or last woman down there in that village that you know. We'll be back after this break. Don't go.
Uganda, your #1 leading education newspaper, is back, bigger and better. With articles to fully suit the educational triangle from the government, schools and parents all over the country, aiming at answering the ever left out questions, not forgetting revision questions and answers set by experienced teachers to prepare students for their finals. The Learner newspaper is supplied to over 12,068 schools all over the country with affordable advertising rates. We offer many more services which include uniform and sweater tailoring, all with an aim of easing work for the educationists. Contact us on 0754 777 029 or 0774 621 539. Email us on info@lananews.com or visit our website at www.lananews.com. You can also visit our offices at City Center Complex, Room J15, 4th floor, along Loom Street. The Lana, prioritizing education.
Discover delicacy at Cafe Atu, your all-in-one destination. Whether it's the perfect cup of coffee or a satisfying meal, we got you covered. Indulge your cravings with our mouth-watering pilau, savoury katogo, crispy chips, and tender chicken. Explore a world of cocktails and fresh juices for a truly special treat. Planning an event? Choose Cafe Atu for top-notch outside catering services. Benefit from ample parking. Stay connected with Wi-Fi and catch your favorite matches on DSTV. Cafe Atu offers food deliveries in and around Kampala. Hosting a conference, our center accommodates up to 1,000 people. Need a boardroom for a party or corporate meeting? We've got just the spot for you. We offer a free venue for birthdays and baby showers, providing complimentary photography. For those aspiring to become professional baristas, our barista school awaits you. Visit us at Albany Center, Level 2 on Ginger Road. Cafe Atu, where every occasion becomes a memorable experience.
So much for staying with us. You're still watching The Daybreak with me, Idrissa Muwonge. We are coming live to you from here, Kampala Road, in Toban Center building where we are based, and we are here discussing national issues. It's everybody's responsibility, to keep Uganda intact and also to help it propel it from one stage of development to another. Those are my words every time I get an opportunity to look into this camera. Patriotism is not something that we should be paid, for, but rather should be innate. Something inborn. You can't teach me to love my country, just like you can't teach me to love my mother. However, there are certain things that you do, and they kind of, make us hate not the nation, but you people, those who have the power. There are certain things I look at personally, I'm like, no. Especially this corruption. We are here, and when I make this point, I'm not like trying to hint on anybody, but I'm just saying, because it has been going, where someone can, swindle over billions and they walk away with it. Yes, the law is in place. It just, shakes him a little, and then at the end of it all, it lets him be. He goes on to enjoy billions, which would help to benefit and improve the lives of millions who are, suffering this country called Uganda. It hurts me so much, and I can't keep quiet because it's my constitutional right to sit here and express my feeling. I'm not alone in the studios, but with Dr. Soib Kagwanse, who happens to be the spokesperson of JEMA. And he came up with a very good idea here. He's like, if the government doesn't have the capacity to, finance the intern doctors, who are doing a very good job in bridging the gap, between a doctor and, the patients. He's coming up with a good idea that we should, as citizens, as we have big people here who are really loaded with money. They could do the philanthropy work, come up, set aside some funds and then sponsor these people so that they can continue serving the hospitals. This is going to help improve, our health service in the country. But is that idea attainable?
We are also.
I was recalling what you came up with.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, and I think you have made it very clear. We also call upon all other well-wishers to participate. I've already committed myself to contribute to that effort. $500,000, my own, $500,000 Uganda shillings. And my party, JEMA, on its behalf.
But how long is that going to run?
I don't know.
Just
we're asking our leader, the leader of opposition in Parliament, who spearheaded the boycott over these regional sittings, to also spearhead this fundraising from actually picking. For them, even we're asking them to pick from what should have gone to wastage, to make good use of it. Because if they boycotted the activity, they should not enjoy the money from that activity. That money should be committed to something more significant, more constructive to the country. And we are specifically pointing out the intern doctors who have come forth in public to say we are in dire need in terms of our welfare. So we should respond. We shouldn't all be, we shouldn't be conspiring with government to neglect them. Now,
yes.
Also, at the same time, we are asking Parliament to make a roll call before they venture forth into Eastern region, or maybe hold another sitting, to make a roll call among the parliamentarians. Yes, asking them one by one who are ready to go, so that they only spend on those who are.
I think they did that in Gulu, did they?
I don't think so, because payments are often done in advance. So a week or so earlier, before they are going there, they should have made at least 50%.
But I'm wondering, you remember Parliament and you've chosen to boycott the plenary, and they have wired the money into your account.
Yes.
Why did they take it?
That's why we are asking them to do the most moral thing.
I need to investigate that. If indeed it is true, why would they take the money now that they have chosen not to attend the plenary sittings? They should just be sending it back. No, after all, why they resolved not to attend was to save taxpayers' money.
So that it's directed or redirected into other critical areas
that may benefit the Wananchi.
Yes, and this is one of them. Why are we mentioning this?
This is a huge contradiction I'm seeing on the side of the opposition.
Yeah, and why are we pointing out the interns?
In fact, it's a very unfair one.
Yes, to show that we are in need. So let us not neglect them, all of us.
But let's talk about your relationship with the because if you're a member of Parliament, for him he resolved to go and attend. You said he was in Gulu, right?
Yes, but okay, I was explaining that.
Did he go there?
We sent him for purposes of collecting information, upon which first-hand information.
What information are you saying?
First-hand information upon which we shall base our final decision, because
this is your. By the way, I need to learn of this. I need a clarification from you. We are talking about a member of parliament representing Bujiri municipality, right?
Yes.
And so the interests of the people of Bujiri are coming as first priority. You don't need to send him or stop him as Jema. Do you have to? This is another issue that some politicians were raising. They were like, these members of parliament ought to know that house, courtesy of their electorates.
Yes.
Why would they, choose not to attend because the party has resolved that they shouldn't be attending? They are denying representing their people's, views.
Yes. No, you cannot encourage participation in faulty activities simply because you are representing. Because you are, in that case, representing your people.
This is a faulty activity.
I mean, if the assessment, the final assessment comes out and shows that it is faulty and shouldn't be sustained, you wouldn't be proud of having been, or even the voters themselves wouldn't be proud of having had an MP that is not involved in such activities. Okay? So the essence here is that you need to explain to your people. If you give them an explanation as to why you are not involved, people they have the capacity to understand and appreciate that. Looking at this, Mr. Mwonge, just as I was telling you, if Parliament saves the funds that are being donated to individuals, can you imagine all the rooms that remained vacant, maybe 200, and at the highest cost, that donation went to the proprietor alone, a single individual, the proprietor of the hotel, for example.
Were they all accommodated in one hotel? You sure about
maybe. We have whatever the number of hotels, because if in order to shift down the sum from one hotel to another, the one must have, all the rooms must have been occupied. See? But whoever benefited, that was single individual.
At least he's a Ugandan, isn't it?
He's a Ugandan. But then there are
and these people is employing Ugandans.
There are these other Ugandans.
He's paying them.
In any case, we are saying that.
So you see, it benefits almost everybody.
That individual now contradicts even the argument that we are taking Parliament to their people. But you are taking it to individuals.
Let's look at this critical and objectively. Dr. Swipe, Lubega owns a hotel. And the people who are working in that hotel are Ugandans.
Yes.
He's the one who's paying them. So if these members are accommodated there, and then Lubega takes in a lot of money, which he uses to pay salaries of these people, I mean, they're all benefiting. These are Ugandans who are benefiting.
The essence of the justification we are given at its surface level. Of course, we know there are lots of secrets that are not on top of the table behind that activity, that are not mentioned, that are not shared with the rest of the people. But the essence is that to take it to the ordinary, the poor. You heard among the challenges they are facing, poverty in the area. But that man, Mr. Lubega, you are mentioning, is not among these ones. He's not among the poor. It should be.
But he's employing the poor. He's employing the poor.
No.
Is he not employing the poor? He's employing Ugandans.
He has been employing them, all right, and he will continue employing them. But even then, why should people wait for such an event to really feel that they are participating in the economic activity of their country? Then it loses meaning. If they will only have to wait for that opportunity when it arises, so that they should feel their participation in their economy, then totally loses meaning. Policies must be put in place wherever, maybe even in Kampala, that enable people inclusivity, all of them, total inclusivity in the activities that define their economy.
So you did answer me. Your MOP, is he attending or is he not? Because why I'm asking that, I wanted to arrive at the question I pointed out earlier to you, your current relationship with the NUP. Because NUP, I don't think it is going to leave them, their relationship, the same with those people who are said to be in opposition, but who have defied the party's position not to attend these plenary sittings. I don't think it's going to leave them the same. Okay. They're going to be like, okay, here we thought we are united. How can we be united, as opposition, when we pass, such resolutions? You defy them.
No, but look at it this way, Mr. Morgan. The decision by the leader of opposition, much as it carries weight, but came late, and as Gemma would not want to contradict ourselves, that's the same thing, by the way, controversy we had over Honorable Mpuga, okay? As Parliament,
with his 500 million?
Responsiveness, I always repeat that, and I'll endeavor to teach this to Ugandans. It's always bad to rush into decisions. You know, go through it. But now, this was the sittings are a decision of Parliament and all members of Parliament to hold these activities, rotational sittings, regional sittings. It's a decision, a collective decision, including members of the National Unity Platform, right? So, coming up at this time, at this late stage, to appear as if you were not in the house when the decisions were being taken, then it reflects you in a more negative, image.
But I think from the onset, these people have been against it. From the onset, ever since
the decisions had been taken and even the budget made. If the protests were at that stage, perhaps even the decisions should have not been taken. But they are coming up.
In the House, Dr. Swaib, even if they wanted, they wouldn't have stopped it.
Yeah, but we are saying
they still have a disadvantage of numbers. That you know. That you know.
We are saying the voices should have been heard from that stage, and maybe even the boycotts should have started then. For them not to sit, to involve themselves in such meetings, okay? But it's coming late after it has been published and established that the entire House has decided to do this.
Let's talk about two resolutions that have been. Our time is running very fast, yet I want us to discuss this. There are two resolutions so far that, not so far, but among the many that were passed, I'm picking two, where I want to pick you to share your views. One is when somebody tabled an idea, and that is Mr. Lumu Richard. He's bringing a proposal that a leader of opposition and other, positions in Parliament, like the chief whip and what, they should be voted. These leaders who are going to occupy those positions should be elected by the entire House. Your view on that?
Well, okay. I think it emerges from the Parliamentary Administration Act. Is that what the law is called?
Sure.
Yes, that legislation. The spirit is to empower the leader of opposition to be in position to offer alternative views, right?
He's already empowered to do that,
yes,
isn't he?
Yes, that is.
Or isn't she?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
They're already empowered to do
alternative views, okay, to those of government, and maybe to hold the government accountable, checks and balances. Now you ask, are those two functions and others, do they require numbers, or do they require capacity, individual capacity to do them? Technical ability and experience. I think that is what is required. Experience and technical ability. Now, amongst the members of opposition, it can happen that the one with those abilities, that capacity, does not subscribe to the majority opposition party in the House, okay? So, we are saying now we would be missing that opportunity. That is why, if the leader of opposition is appointed by his party, okay? You also consider the word opposition. It involves not only the leading opposition party, but all the opposition parties, including in this case, JEMA, PPP, FDC, UPC, DP, and the rest, okay? Now, it's like a mockery, if you call it opposition, yet the leader of the LOP is promoting interests and manifesto of a particular what? a particular party that assigned him.
Where he emanates from.
Yes, okay? And he's promoting those views. And indeed he has to, because it is his leader that...
But has that been the case really, Dr. Swaib, speaking about this objectively, looking at not only Joel, because he just entered office the other day, but all his predecessors, have they really been fronting the interests of their political party, or they've been unifying all these opposition political parties?
Because who appoints you gives you guidance and directions to follow.
Of course, you're party president.
Yeah, you're party president. Is he there to promote Jema interests? Definitely not. He's promoting the interest within his manifesto. And that is where the contradiction is. At least, okay, what is clear now is that that legislation has to be improved. Improved. In any way it can. Maybe it can be defined as leader of the second, the runner-up, and not call it opposition. So the leader of opposition, you should have a way.
Now you also have issues about the name, right?
The law needs to be improved upon so that it's clear. You cannot call us opposition when we have very little say, if at all we have. When our
you don't want to be called opposition.
Yes, I mean.
But you are, because you're not the ones in charge of the country, you're not the ones in power.
That you put us together.
If you want to change the name, you just get into power, and then you're going to cease to be referred to as opposition.
A clear example. I've been here lamenting, crying over, wailing about my adopted son who was kidnapped by this regime. The officer is called Kopo Oleya, who led that activity when they picked my son from our house, the grandmother's house in Sowachevandu here, on 5th July last year. Up to now, it's almost a year, we have not set our eyes. We don't know where he is. But the leader of opposition, the previous leader of opposition, has a list of missing Ugandans.
Mr. Mpuga.
Yeah. They are all... despite the fact that so many Ugandans' human rights have been abused, he's only promoting the interests of those who subscribe to
the NUP.
NUP. My own son is not on that list, okay? And many other victims, they are not on that
list. Did you try to reach out to him?
Why?
Or to those people to also have
yes, I've written to him.
Your son's name added on that list.
The positive response.
And you also have the capacity to even go to the Uganda Human Rights Commission, because I will tell you why. I saw the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, Maria Mwangadie, and she was like, some of these people you're saying that are missing actually are not missing. Some are somewhere enjoying life. Now, a person like you, that's the point you'd come out and, go to her office and like, I'm coming here individually, and this is my, the name of my son is missing.
Yes.
Maybe they could also help.
There's a possibility.
Did you try to approach them?
There's a possibility. I mean, it's not the same. Going in a group is not the same. Cannot carry the same weight as going there
as an individual.
But the point I wanted to drive to here is that the previous leader of opposition, why was he limiting the list to the no subscribers? It's because it's no party which assigned him the role of leader of opposition. If it was all of us electing him, he definitely would work to serve our own interests and those the rest of Uganda.
So meaning you are seconding the idea that is,
yeah, the legislation has to
was brought by Honorable Richard Lumumba.
Yes, there has to be. But when we do that, it's not necessarily for favoring the opposition, because as we have always told you, as we continue showing Ugandans the alternatives we have eventually, and when the government continues messing up, making 300 jobs reserved for a particular group of people, just as we saw the leader, the executive director of Uganda Airlines, who gained that job without presenting academic documents. When NRM continues making those mistakes, eventually Ugandans are going to turn around against it and replace it with us. So,
as we get out of here, because
yes,
our time is fast spent.
Yes. The issues we have discussed do we touch the regional parliamentary sittings, and also the possibility of this bill coming up to change the way we get leader of opposition. Actually, to improve on that law. Those are very critical issues that should be given serious attention by everybody. Particularly, we are asking Parliament on the sittings to first assess, make a very clear assessment of what prevailed in the northern region before venturing into the eastern region, particularly looking for ways of saving or mitigating, actually reducing the wastage that is going into this activity. Okay. But we are also asking the agencies responsible, Mr. Mwonge, agencies responsible for fighting corruption in this country, to subject this activity to the level of scrutiny, transparency scrutiny that it deserves. If there are any public funds being wasted, being, there are some fraudulent, activities going on, it's prudent for them at this stage to stop the wastage, not to wait for it to go on, to proceed and reach levels. So they should investigate the level of transparency involved in this activity with the purpose of either giving it a green light or stopping it. Otherwise, at the end of the day, if the attorney, the auditor general produces a report that implicates the organizers of this activity to have conducted some fraudulent, some wastage, reckless wastage of public resources, the agency is supposed to stop this, to avert this from happening, will be equally accountable.
I thank you so much. Dr. Swaib Musereko, therefore, you speaks for the Justice Forum, aka JEMA. Thank you so much, our dear viewers. We've come to the end of this edition of the Day Break. We are focusing so much on the regional parliamentary sittings, which are rotational. The first session, which happened in Gulu, ended, and now they are moving to Mbale. Now in Gulu, one of the things that was passed, the people from, Karamoja sub-region, passed a resolution to have all kids who are going to public schools, to consider joining, not consider, but they should be, compelled to join boarding schools. And this is aimed at reducing the school dropout. You can tell here in Kampala, every time you're moving, you're going to see kids on the streets, and most of them do hail from that part of the country. Now that's why I'm so in love with that resolution, because it's going to help to keep these kids in schools. My name is Idrissa Mwonge. I've come to the end of this edition. Till we meet again, goodbye for now, and see you then.